we wrote this book, Stealing John Hancock. Now, our book is a thriller, but even in fast-paced thrillers, there are moments that are heartwarming and full of hope. When I was a little kid, one of my favorite cozy activities was when my mother would read to me, usually before bed. So today we thought we'd invite all of you to join us while my mother reads from our book. The section she's going to be reading is where our protagonist, JP, discovers that even amidst all the chaos going on in his life, he can still find happiness and joy in small moments and little things.
Why had he always blamed Claudia for his unhappiness? Why had he blamed anything? His crummy job? Laughable bank balance? Crappy apartment? The unforgivable debt he owed to his grandfather and by extension to Gran? It had seemed obvious that he needed to fix those things to feel okay about himself. But now he wondered if he had it backwards. Maybe he already was okay. Maybe he was always okay. He just never saw it before. The summer he started dating Claudia, the two of them had sat outside the 7-Eleven convenience store, sipping cherry cola slushies in the heat. Claudia had flipped her hair and laughed at some clever comment he'd made, and she looked smoking hot in her short shorts. He had thought that nothing else would matter, and he'd be so happy if he could just have a life with her. But by the time he had that, he already wanted something more. Contentment lay outside his reach because, like a mirage, it drifted away from him as he moved nearer. But ever since he climbed that tree after the Marley boy Sebastian, things seemed different. His circumstances had gotten so much worse since his life in Port Perry, and yet anxiety no longer overtook him. He remembered the day he had returned to the bus stop and his boxes of possessions, only to find them gone. He thought then that he had discovered the bottom of the pit that was his life. He now knew how low bottom could go, limitless really, and somehow that made the comfort of the armchair in which he sat and the tea that he sipped so sublime. Maybe it was true that the key to happiness wasn't to want what he could conceive to get, but to want what he already had. He took another sip of tea. The next day, a light snow fell, the lights from the street lamps catching the flakes in their meandering descent. White Christmas lights encircled the posts, and real spruce wreaths decorated with red ribbons and gold baubles hung from the bottoms of the octagonal glass bulb enclosures. Large urns with tall sprigs of evergreens, white birch branches, bows, and gold and red glittered ornaments graced every street corner. More white Christmas lights framed shop windows, each crowned with huge red velvet bows. 2 weeks until Christmas, and the town of Port Perry looked festive and ready. JP and Erica, bundled and concealed in coats, hats, and scarves, walked arm in arm, looking like any other evening shoppers and restaurant patrons, only perhaps more purposeful to the astute observer. From the bus stop, they walked the full length of Palmer Park along Water Street, which rimmed Lake Scugog. JP stopped, causing Erica to do the same, and looked up the main street, Queen Street, with its bedecked, cozy Christmas feel. He never saw it quite like that, even though he knew every year it would have been just as appealing and inviting. Well, thank you for joining us and listening. We have really loved sharing with you.
Thanks, Mom.